404 a.C. 27 anos de guerra sangrenta haviam chegado ao fim. Atenas, com sua invencível esquadra destruída, foi forçada a sujeitar-se aos seus arquirrivais, os espartanos.
The Athenian generals commanding the main Athenian fleet made a disastrous mistake that led to a great battle and a terrible defeat for the Athenians at a place called Aigospotamoi.
Nas décadas após a queda de Atenas, as cidades-estado de Esparta e Tebas lutaram pelo domínio da Grécia. Mas em 359 a.C., um jovem de 23 anos da remota região grega da Macedônia tornou-se rei e em 2 décadas mudaria a face da Grécia. Seu nome era Filipe II.
Macedon was a funny Greek state. It was always a bridesmaid and never a bride. It had lots of potential, both in manpower and natural resources, but it had never managed to get its act together.
Os gregos das cidades-estado consideravam os tribais macedônios incivilizados. Porém, após 20 anos, Filipe os havia unificado e transformado na mais temida máquina de guerra que a Grécia já vira. Filipe edificou a Macedônia em 2 frentes: diplomacia e força. Ele começou criando alianças com as cidades-estado vizinhas, ao mesmo tempo em que reinventava o exército macedônio, tornando o serviço militar uma ocupação em tempo integral e altamente treinada. Mas o grande trunfo desse novo exército profissional foi uma tropa de engenheiros que Filipe organizou para projetar e construir instrumentos de guerra. Uma inovação que mudou para sempre o modo de guerrear e de vencer.
The Macedonians were not considered real Greeks by the Hellenic city-states. They came from a tribe called the Macedoni, and they'd been fighting barbarians for so long that they were considered barbarians themselves. However, Philip II was no barbarian. Or if he was the most brilliant barbarian the world had ever seen. Hello, I'm Peter Weller. The pillar of Philip's military strategy was his combination of cavalry with infantry. And the pillar of his infantry was a formation called the phalanx, a rectangle group of foot soldiers that traveled very lightly at a marching speed few other armies could equal.
A falange fora utilizada pelos gregos durante séculos. Filipe acrescentou-lhe uma arma nunca antes vista em um campo de batalha.
The innovation that Philip did was changing the shape of the phalanx and introducing this long weapon called the sarissa. So the phalanx became like a huge tank.
A sarissa era uma lança com quase 5,5 metros, capaz de devastar um inimigo antes que este pudesse contra-atacar com espadas ou lanças mais curtas.
Basically, you plant the head of your pike against the guy and push him back. And the effect is a little bit like, when a kid tries to attack him and you put your hand on the kid's forehead and his little fist is swinging like this, but they can't reach you. That's what the pike enables Philip's infantry to do.
Soldados bem treinados, bem equipados e disciplinados deram à falange macedônica a vantagem contra táticas tradicionais de batalha. Mas a tecnologia bélica é que tornaria o exército de Filipe invencível.
For much of their military history, the Greeks were not particularly good at siegecraft. Beginning around 400 BC or shortly afterwards, the Greeks begin to take a quantum leap.
Arco e flecha haviam sido uma arma de guerra durante milênios, mas a potência do arco era limitada à força do braço de um indivíduo. Uma das primeiras inovações dos antigos gregos em engenharia militar foi um arco capaz de utilizar a força de todo o corpo humano e não apenas do braço.
The earliest weapons of siegecraft that the Greeks developed are essentially crossbows, and they're called belly shooters, gastrophetes.
You had a much bigger thing that had a kind of U-shaped element at the end that you pressed against your abdomen. And then you drew back the bow with both hands, pressing it with your torso at the same time, so you could create a much greater force of tension.
O gastrafetes foi uma evolução mortal do arco e flecha, mas para sobrepujar os exércitos do mundo, Filipe precisava de mais potência.
In order to do even more damage, they need to come up with yet another generation of weapons. They need to invent what we might call the torsion catapult.
The torsion catapult basically creates springs by twisting sinews, or in some cases horsehair, or in emergencies even human hair. You create thick ropes of them and then twist them together.
Os engenheiros gregos projetaram um aparelho que funcionava como um gastrafetes montado sobre uma plataforma. Chamaram-no de oxibeles ou lança-dardos. Ao invés de usar o corpo para dar potência, o retesamento criado pelo oxibeles provinha de cordas torcidas até um ponto máximo de tensão.
There's an enormous stored force because the sinews want to spring back and release that tension, but they're held. And inserted into this spring is a bar, and you then pull that bar back, increasing the already great tension, and then when the bars are released, they spring back with enormous force and rapidity compared to the old bow flexion system.
A distância não mais protegia os soldados inimigos de uma morte súbita e sangrenta. Quando disparado, o oxibeles podia perfurar escudos e armaduras ao alcance de 400 metros, originando o termo que ainda hoje usamos: catapulta.
The neat thing about the word catapult is that it means skin penetrator. You can see our word pelt, like an animal skin, in the Greek catapult, goes through the skin.
Com suas armas de guerra, Filipe tornou-se inexorável contra as cidades-estado gregas. Em 338 a.C., a vitória dele sobre Atenas e Tebas tornou-o o senhor absoluto da Grécia. Mas foram as ações de Filipe após a guerra que indicaram como os macedônios governariam as terras conquistadas a despeito de sua reputação de bárbaros.
Philip and his son Alexander, who was only 18 years old, defeat a coalition of Thebans and Athenians at the Battle of Chaeronea in 338 BC. And then Philip does a remarkable thing. He lets all the Athenians go back home. Then he calls together a council at Corinth, invites all of the city-states. He's got to cloak his power in some sort of diplomacy. And he tells all the city-states, you can groove. It's all going to be the same as it was before. He could have scorched the earth, just like Genghis Khan a few centuries later, but he didn't. Why? We've got to remember that the Greeks thought of the Macedonians as no better than a bunch of thugs. And the Macedonians didn't care much for the Greeks either. But Philip had had his taste of the Hellenic ideal during his time at Thebes. And as a king, he invited Greek philosophers and teachers to come to Macedonia. His entire court spoke Athenian Greek. Philip didn't want to destroy Greece. He wanted to be Greece. He was like the nerd at the back of the class who wanted to join the frat party, become one of the cool guys, albeit a little bit tougher.
In his moment of triumph, led by Macedon, he was preparing to carry out his life's ambition, which was to invade the Persian Empire.
Ele não iria tão longe. Filipe seria assassinado por alguém de dentro do seu próprio círculo. Pouco antes de partir rumo à conquista da Pérsia, Filipe participou de uma celebração pública. Enquanto marchava à frente de seu séquito para provar que não temia ninguém, um guarda-costas avançou e enterrou-lhe um punhal no peito. O homem que unificara a Grécia estava morto aos 46 anos.
Was he a lone assassin, or was there a bigger plot? We can never know for sure because while the assassin was trying to escape, he was mowed down by Philip's guards.
O sonho de Filipe de dominar o Império Persa não morreu com ele, antes fortaleceu-se com a ascensão de seu filho de 20 anos, chamado Alexandre. Alexandre viria a utilizar o exército, os engenheiros e a tecnologia de Filipe para realizar um projeto ainda mais ambicioso que o de seu pai: transformar o mundo em um mundo grego.